Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Sound and Vision. We are here with Ryan Ellis.
Hey.
Dude, you have they brought your name to me and I was like, we got to talk to you. Looked at your music, looked into your sound, looked into your social media and your videos, and I'm just like blown away. Like, where in the hell have you been? Because I've been looking for new artists that have this unique sound that's different, and you got it. What got this started for you? Tell us a little bit on the beginning of how you got started.
Man, well, I've been doing music my whole life. Filipino, got a Filipino mom. She instilled in me at a young age this passion for music, and I mean, she's an amazing singer. So I just was around it, growing up, and my family, they're all musical. So so it's just kind of born into it, But I really found my own passion for it after getting out of the Navy. Had this real encounter with God and started picking up the guitar again. I was in a really dark place, and this encounter really brought me back to my passion for music. And so I just started with one song, and that was back in 2007 or 2008, and I just kept writing every day, trying to write and just try to get better, and then learning more and growing deeper, and then allowing myself to have more freedom to be more creative. Like if you listen to my first couple projects, it's very raw, and then I get to this place where I'm really trying to take some challenges and some chances and some risks, trying to be more sonically like aligned with how I grew up listening to music. And so that's kind of where that journey started. So it's been good being in a space like this where I feel like there's a lot of growth that can happen, and the message is still so pure. There's a lot of things to sing about, and I've sung about a lot of them, but I think for me, it's nice just to have this conversation with God. As I get older, I'm learning having this constant conversation with God is the most important thing. As I'm getting older, I got 3 kids, married, so it's just like trying to keep God real close in these days, especially now. Feels like times are crazy, So it really was God found me. I figured out my gift, and I use it to try to bless the Lord,
Yeah, exactly. And tonight you're performing here in Koreatown, here in downtown LA. If you could hear the background music, it's a nice little ambient sound to what we're doing here at Sound and Vision. What is it like to perform these songs in front of people and get that message out?
Man, well, it's different everywhere, like even tonight where I'm Mama Lion, Trey Campbell been amazing enough to invite, me to this night, and this is a mixed crowd, and I think it's good because, the gospel's for everybody, and it's not just for the church. I don't think it's just for certain people, but it's for everybody, all walks of life. And I'm hoping that this music really, lets people see that, brings people together, and that's kind of my hope is all different types of people will come together under the banner of love, the banner of coming together as people and loving each other in our processes, and listening to good music, encouraging each other. But, I've performed in front of just straight Christian audiences, and it's all different everywhere you go. But I've always found that people always do connect with that conversation. Everyone's been through hard times. Everybody's going through something. Everybody's lost somebody or something, and sometimes you just need to hear like everything's gonna be all right. God's got it.
Exactly. And that's the one thing that I wanted to touch upon is the fact that you're a different style type of cat. You're doing Christian music, but in a different way, and I think it appeals to everybody. When I hear the sound, I'm like, wow, I wish I had this when I was going through Catholic school and listening to music like this, because I would have been so much more into it. And I love your sound. I love the way you're touching people, touching the youth, touching people my age and older with your sound. What is the importance of that, of being able to, not only are you really preaching the word of God within you, but you're reaching people into a different, you're making people think.
Yeah.
And I like that. Your lyrics make people think. What was it like to put all that together and to get that sound out and to now hear, like you're going to do tonight, your audience and the reception of that?
Yeah, I think even just outside Christian music, I think music can really like heal people, you know, really meets people where they're at. And when I was writing this project, my last project that I put out, you know, me and my family were coming out of a really dark time, you know, and me and my wife, we lost a baby, and then I went right into album mode, and so I kind of, you know, it was hard. I didn't know if I wanted to use it. I didn't know if I wanted to try to just talk about God's goodness. But in my last project, you know, I talked a lot about grief and pain and process, and sometimes there isn't a conclusion on things, you know. Maybe God doesn't heal it right away. Maybe you got to wait a little bit longer. And what does that look like in the waiting? How should you be? And is it okay to be angry? Is it okay to be sad? You know, I think those are the topics that are real with people, and I think when you sing about those things, it'll connect. And that's been the craziest thing for me. And I think the reality check for me is when I did go out on the road and people are coming up and they're crying and they connect with these songs, you do feel humbled because it's not really you, you know, you're channeling something, you know, and it's a blessing. It really is a gift. Not a lot of people get to experience that, and it really was like, okay, God, this is how I can do something, leave something here, you know. When I leave, you know, these songs will always be here, and hopefully my kids will hear them when they grow up, and they need some advice and some guidance. But my grandkids, you know, grandkids. So it's really interesting, you know, how timeless music is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the one thing I want to touch about right now is Better Days. I heard that song, and when I lost my mom, it's already been 17 years ago. I look back. That song made me look back at that time, and what music was I listening to at that time to get me out of it. And me, it was a lot of the anger with Linkin Park.
Oh yeah.
And then Foo Fighters with Walk to bring me back out of it. Mm-hmm. And I hear your song, and it reminds me of those days when you thought things weren't going to happen and things were going to be just continuing. You're not going to get out of this rut. And your song reminded me of those days when dude, the brightness, the good that is at the end of the tunnel. When you wrote Better Days, what was it about that song that just, did you know you had something there? Because that's a hit right there to there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's songs that I'll come back. I mean, my manager knows. If I send him a song right away, you know, I really like it. You know, if he's like, hey, how'd the session go today? And I don't send him any songs, he's like, oh, it wasn't that good of a day. But that song, after I got back from the session, I was listening to it on repeat, you know? And a lot of the times I try to write these songs based off of what I'm going through right now, you know? And with that song in particular, you know, it's, I woke up one morning. It's been really hard, you know, being an artist, trying to do this, give everything, pour everything out, and sometimes it only moves the needle just a little bit, you know? And I know God's in control, but, you know, my family sacrificed a lot, and man, demons can get dark, you know? I start getting mad at my family, being like, dang, you know, maybe if I was single, I would be further in my career, and just weird, you know, those are the thoughts that, you know, we have to battle. And so I remember just being in this rut, just feeling super defeated. And then I remember saying out loud, God, thank you for my family and for all my blessings. It was more like, I'm going to take control. I'm going to actually think about what I'm thankful for right now. And that's my biggest weapon when I'm feeling depressed or I feel anxiety or whatever is, how can I actually be thankful? How can I turn this from you know, gratitude will change your attitude 100%. So I started doing that, and then it was just fun, you know. Got called About My Pride, I think I missed the message, and just really being a real song. And I think even I guess I'm waiting for some better days. It's still, we're still in it, you know. It's not here. I know they're on the way, but it's okay that right now we're here, you know. So I felt like I just really wanted to write something that was for people who aren't you might not get might not be in the victory place right now, but victory is coming, you know?
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I found out with this song. It's just you could hear that in there, and it's awesome to hear that because it's true emotion. When true emotion comes out on lyrics, you got something special there, and that's the thing that, like, in this industry, as you know, it's a tough industry. It's like it's not like it's all roses, or you're like some people who are watching that have major success and didn't have to get those bumpy roads. Yeah. But you had to go through those bumpy roads. But that's what makes you who you are and makes you a better artist. I want to touch upon the social media aspect. Yeah. I've been checking out your social media on Instagram, and the videos are friggin' awesome. Where did it come about using social media to really send your message and your sound, using Instagram and different other platforms like that, to get a generation that's where they're living on? They're all living on their phone. How was it to use that and transform that? It was a hard transition because I'm such a live performance guy, you know. Even before I got signed, it was all very organic, live house shows and being invited. It was all very organic, you know. And now marketing, you learn marketing is such a key. As an artist, if you're an artist out there, learn marketing, you know, and how to brand and how to be able to communicate visually what you want your music to communicate sonically. But so it's a whole nother level, right, of just, I think, being an artist. And so I wasn't quick to the social media. I kind of just kept people posted, updated, but, you know, and I was also scared. I think for a long time as an artist, I was scared to put my demos out, you know, because, you know, you want to put your releases out, you want to promote the songs you have out. But I always wanted to keep my demos in the safe because I didn't want people to bite off my style, and I didn't want people to, you know, copy the swag and then all of a sudden they release it. And it's happened. It's happened to me a lot, you know, and so, and there's no justice. Christian music, you just got to forgive these homies, but there's snakes out there, even in the, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's rough out here. So I was very hesitant, but honestly, it was just one night, me and my wife were just like, you know what, let's put these demos out, you know, and it was a song. Better Days was one of those. So Better Days was a song, it was a demo. My label didn't even have it on their list, you know, selected for my next project, but I really loved it. And so I went in my garage, I put my phone up, and I put a little vibey light on, and then I just sang to the thing, because I was just like, what can I do that's still conveys what I want, but it doesn't have to be a lot of work for me, you know, because I got kids. I'm like, let's do this, bam, because I see it's changing. Everything is changing. So you got to either get with it or you got to get out the way. So I said, let me just put this phone up. Let me sing to this phone. I'm used to being in a room, seeing people's faces and eyes and people crying and being like, okay, and I can vibe off that. But this is like, so I had to tap in. I had to actually be like the audience of one. You know what I'm saying? The audience of one. What are you really doing it for, you know? And if you can tap into that place, it'll come through authentically through the screen. So doing that Better Day song with the red light, boom, start going off. I was like, oh my, and you know what's so crazy that I was just out in Nashville talking to my label, and they're like, because I'm like, yo, what's going on? We're getting no tractions, I don't feel the vibes. And they're like basically, you gotta go viral. You gotta go viral. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to do the impossible, you know? So doing that was confirmation, you know. I felt like God was opening a door, but also like, okay, this is what the people want. And that's the art of being an artist, is you have to serve the audience. Even Kanye's serving his audience. He's serving them that wild man that he's being right now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is your audience like? And when they started reacting to that, I said, okay, I can do this. I can sing dub over. And at first, you know, as you don't want to be like Milli Vanilli, just lip syncing everything, you know? So I try to mix it up with some live performances too, but adapting to the way it is right now has been challenging, but also, you know, I think that's just the game of life. You can step up to the plate, you know? And so that's what the music takes right now. So I'm trying to do it my best, and it's, I don't know, you know, we'll just see how it goes, bro. Right now, it's working, so I'm really thankful. It's kind of amazing to see how many people you can hit with one video, you know what I'm saying? Like posting something today, showing like 30,000 people viewing it, you know, in a matter of just like 20 minutes. That's crazy. So just rolling with it. I'm about to get this Neuralink. I'm about to
I'll be posting like every second with my Neuralink.
Yeah, exactly. But it is AAPI month,
Hey,
and we
represent, bro.
got all our
Represent.
Filipino family that I grew up with going. No, I'm not,
Oh, okay.
but my best friend is.
Are you Mexican?
Yeah, I'm Mexican.
That's close enough.
Yeah, exactly. We both.
What was it saying?
Yeah. Let's be honest.
We both get slippers thrown at us. We good.
Exactly, exactly. But I grew up going to a high school that was half Mexican, half Filipino.
Oh, okay.
And I had a lot of Filipino friends. I still have those friends up to this day. And my best friend Melanie and her family is still so close.
Mexican and Filipino.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
How do you bring your Filipino heritage into your music? Are you and really to do because there's a lot of Filipino hip hoppers coming up now.
Yeah.
What do you do different that and how you want to lead the next generation who is coming up?
You know what's interesting, and I've been thinking about this a lot because we did have AAPI month, and I was at this AAPI writing week, and it's such a trip because you have to understand, like, for black homies, it's a huge culture. Huge, bro. Even though they still there's a lot of, like, you know, injustice and unfairness, and, you know, I represent for my brothers, like, they rolling deep. The white community, deep. Asian, not like, and Mexican too, bro. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Mexican OT. Even Tekashi 6ix9ine, when I was looking at his rides, I was like, that's a Mexican homie, and he's rolling up, and he's huge. But we don't have, like, there's only, like, it's just like the movies. It's just like Hollywood. You only have black, you have white, and then the Asian homie is, like, for satire or something like that, bro. And so I think there is a huge, like, I think it's like, honestly, sometimes it feels like I have my hands tied behind my back in a boxing match because the inequality is not that Asians don't support. It's just really like there's just such a bigger community and people. Like, for instance, you know, I think I was probably like maybe the first Filipino on K-Love. You know what I'm saying? But everywhere I look, and I'm not knocking African American homies or black people, but like every time there's like, oh, first African American to do this, first African American female to do this, and I don't see that with the Asians. I don't see that with the Pacific Islanders, and so there is like, I feel like we're still building it, but it is nice that we have groups like the AAPI, even the month, the awareness, things like that. But we're in the beginning stages right now. But I would say that Filipinos, you know, we have our own culture, but I think we're still even finding our own identity ourselves, you know? And so, but I feel like we're a culture that loves to celebrate people. We love as a people celebrating other people. And so even in my sounds, you'll hear a lot of hip hop, R&B, you'll hear folk, you'll hear, you know, a little bit of reggae, a little bit of Sublime vibes, a little SoCal. And it's because, you know, this is my environment. And I like to celebrate that. I like to celebrate greatness and things that make me, you know, vibe out. So, and the same too, with all these things that I'm doing, a lot of my music videos and other ministries, I love highlighting people. People are doing dope things, you know? So I like to be shining the light where it's dope. So, but that's kind of what I think we still got a lot of work to do, but I'm also really encouraged.
Awesome. That's great to hear, especially coming from you. And talking about what the future is and what we're going to be seeing more from you. But now here comes the big money time. Tell the people, how could they find you? Where could they buy your music? Where, in the next couple weeks, where are you going to be performing? Because this is coming out Memorial Day weekend. So, you know, there's going to be, we're getting into the summer. So you got to tell them where you're performing, where could they see you?
Man, well, we got a couple performances out in Missouri. If you guys are out there,
right. There you go. Come out. You guys got to come out. Come support.
If you go to RyanEllisMusic.com, I have all my shows up there, and I got an amazing tour with Torrin Wells and Danny Goki coming up in the fall. That's going to be an awesome show. And then we got some other stuff brewing. So a lot of music being released. I got a radio single dropping June 21st, and so that'll come out. Actually, double release, so 2 songs. And so releasing all year, putting out content all year, and so stay tuned.
Awesome, man. Hey, thank you so much for stopping with us. Really appreciate it. We see big things coming from you. It's hard for me as I'm getting older, and the audience knows I'm getting older, but to to find music that's different, that's going to stand out. And you're one of those artists where your music stands out. It caught the ears of me, my dad, my sister, my friends. You got something here. Keep up the good work. And we want to invite you back on Sound and Vision when we go live.
Yeah, maybe we'll do
and we do it.
music.
Well, that's what we're hoping. And if you need drummers, we call some friends in, performers. If you need, we'll put an all-star band.
You play.
I do play.
We'll get you playing, bro.
How good is a different story.
Do a whole special hymn singing.
Well, no, we're not gonna do that. Hey, we're not.
Hey,
Those days, those days are. I don't know if they're still around. But we'll love to have you come into the office and
Let's do it.
be a part of our live performances when we do that later in the year. Hey, thank you so much for stopping with us.
Bro, thank you so much.
No problem. And we'll see you next time.